How's it going, guys? I didn't think we'd be talking so soon today, but it looks like they're going to be dropping the entire kit of the Thunderstrike coming legendary character. If you saw the Strike Spot reaction, I'm not super hyped on this character, so let's dive in and see if he has any redeeming qualities. The Chapter 3 Legend. The Annihilus invasion is threatening the existence of Nexus Earth and reality itself. Nick Fury is calling on the Asgardian ranks for Strike's next legend in the fight against Annihilus. So the saving grace of this character would be if we, for some reason, which has never happened for legendary characters before, get some sort of Asgardian character reworks. I would love to see Hero Asgardians get a rework. That'd be super cool. Thunderstrike is the third of 3 essential legends you need to unlock to challenge Annihilus in the final age of Annihilus. Throughout Chapter 3, you'll collect Thunderstrike's character shards from the command center to harness his godly might. Behold your Thunderstrike premiere. Thunderstrike, once an ordinary architect named Eric Masterson, fate struck lightning when he crossed paths with Thor himself. After proving his courage and nobility in battle, Eric was granted an enchanted mace called Thunderstrike, transforming him into a modern-day hero imbued with the Asgardian strength, endurance, and command over thunder and lightning. Wielding his mighty weapon, Eric took up the mantle of Thunderstrike, a mortal with the heart of a god, protecting both Earth and the realms beyond. A Cosmic Crucible Storm. Thunderstrike's legendary power strikes with maximum force on Cosmic Crucible offense. He sustains his allies with support and mainstays like heals, health steals, and barrier. We didn't hear about barrier in the Strike Spot. For specific characters, oof, that's rough. Via a charge mechanic that he powers up himself with his basic. Okay. Thunderstrike also forges support by blinding enemies with 2 abilities. Okay, both abilities blind. Applying ability block to heroes, I like that. And stealing ability energy from villains. We heard about an ultimate energy still. I just wasn't sure. Villains only? Legendary duo with Blastaar. Okay, let's talk about this for a second, because I am not opposed to a legendary duo, especially because if we are going to be forming the Megazord with Annihilus, they can't all be glass cannon, just game-defying powerhouses, right? Because if you do that for 4 characters plus Annihilus, what the hell? Like, how are you ever going to beat that team? Or is that team just going to be a glass cannon, outspeed and instantly destroy it? That kind of sounds stupid, right? So the idea of him being a support for Blastaar, I don't hate, but what was described does not excite me. Let's go ahead, we'll read on and see what happens here. Thunderstrike doesn't usurp Blastaar's throne. He rules beside him and electrifies the kingdom. This Asgardian legend complements Blastaar in battle while also acting as a bomb burst battery and personal medic. Thunderstrike calls in Blastaar for assists on his special and ultimate abilities, powering up Blastaar's bomb burst mechanic for earlier detonation. Thunderstrike also specifically distributes stolen health to Blastaar as well as barriers him with his charge mechanic. Together with key theory crafting, Blastaar and Thunderstrike can rule top Crucible defenses like a curse with tricky Illuminati combinations. Tricky Illuminati combinations. That's not really a thing we see it much anymore, Illuminati combinations. A curse? Sure, but there's other options to beat them pretty handily. Feast thine eyes on Thunderstrike's Kit of the Gods. Traits: Hero, Global, because I guess he's a human, right? Mystic Support, yeah, that support tag copy off guard. Again, I don't hate it, it depends how it's implemented. And Legendary. His speed, ooh. Oh, no. With a speed of 126, he's going after Blastaar's base speed, which means that, like, by definition, instead of helping Blastaar be able to do his ult earlier with more bomb bursts, they are basically saying, like, Blastaar is not supposed to bomb burst his ultimate on his first attack. It's got to be his second attack. And that's right here, right? Yuck. Okay. Thunderburst, this is the basic. Attack primary adjacent targets for 280%, apply bleed, and gain 1 charge. The Awakened is going to add, on Crucible, first of all, he's going to add 80 damage. Holy crap. On Crucible offense, reduce the duration of regeneration of primary adjacent targets by 2. Okay, sure. Why not? Why not, I guess. Awakened ISO, sorry, that's such a nothing perker. The Awakened ISO attack, it's the same thing. Okay. Special 4/4. You could use this turn 1. Attack primary adjacent targets for 300% damage. Apply blind to just the primary target. Clear 2 random negative effects from self and all allies. Heal self and all allies for 20% of this character's max health. So it is healing everybody. On Crucible offense. Also, I'm just trying to look at this for, like, also war use. It's okay. Like, there's no tag restrictions to only Blast or only, like, Annihilus characters here, which I do like. On Crucible offense, apply blind to adjacent targets. Okay, so that's that Blade ultimate effect, which is really, really powerful, so I do like that. Doing a Primary and adjacent blind can be very impactful. It's going to steal 20% health from primary and adjacent targets and redistribute 50% of the health stolen to self and Blastaar ally. This bypasses heal block. Call a random Blastaar ally to assist. So this is really important, right? If you use this ability, yes, your Blastaar will get another bomb burst stack, but it's not the same as when he does it via his passive when an ally does a basic. That's when he gets the big sum of speed bar from doing that passive assist, if you will. When you get called in to do an assist, he's going to get, I think it's 5% on Blastaar. When you get the Awakened, it's a lot higher, but they haven't told us anything about that Awakened ability. If anyone there is listening, if you want to make people more excited about Thunderstrike, you should definitely get that Awakened basic from Blastaar in the community's hands, free to play. That would be my suggestion. Yeah, because this calling for an assist, yes, is a bomb burst stack. No, it's not super interesting. Ultimate, level 7, this is also a turn 1 ability. Oh, also, this whole stealing health being gated behind Crucible offense, they have to do this, right? Because now that I'm thinking more and more about this whole Megazord situation, if this were to be an almost, like this is a crazy powerful ability, or at least it's a very powerful ability that will be paired with what I'm sure are gonna be crazy powerful abilities from Annihilus. If you're in War, Quasar's crazy. If you're in Crucible, Blastaar, he's alright. And then whatever the other characters they're going to put on this team are going to be, right? So they need to gate some of it behind certain modes, otherwise this Megazord is just going to... It's going to make you power leap off the freaking planet, which is not a great idea. Anyway, Ultimate level 7, Rolling Thunder, energy cost 10 of 10, so this is a turn 1 ability and you will probably only use it once. Apply Blind to a random support enemy. Okay. Attack all enemies for 400% piercing, apply trauma, and heal 10% health from all enemies and redistribute the health stolen to self and Blastaar ally. This bypasses heal block. On Crucible offense, apply safeguard, defense up, and immunity to self and random Blastaar ally. Call a random Blastaar ally to assist. This attack is unavoidable. This looks like a very powerful attack. We're doing 400% piercing, we're getting trauma, we are stealing life, and we're doing a whack load of defensive buffs. I like this, but it doesn't help set Blastaar up to really go off more. Like, if I were to be crafting a character that I wanted to make Blastaar better, I would make Thunderstrike go before Blastaar. I'd probably make him give 2 bomb burst stacks instead of 1, and I'd make him do defense down or give offense up to Blastaar. One or the other. Preferably, I think defense down. I think there's a lot more offense up counters that could happen. Actually, immunity is probably more common than disrupt, so maybe offense up would be better. But this ain't doing it, so this passive better be good. Oh wait, the Awakened Ultimate. So what are we going to add here? So we're still doing 400, we're still doing piercing, still doing 10%. On Crucible offense, before this attack, reduce duration of all positive effects on all enemies by 2. Very powerful, I like that. If the primary target is a villain, steal up to 2 ability energy from the primary target. So if primary target is a villain, steal energy from that primary target. If the primary target is a hero, apply ability lock instead. I don't like that. In the strike spot, they were talking about stealing energy. My immediate take was, oh, so if we just did a burn attack into Professor X, now I can steal his energy and he's going to be opening up with a basic. Well, first of all, Thunderstrike is so fucking slow at 126, he wouldn't go before Professor X anyway. So that was already out the window. But now it's just an ability block. This is much easier to circumvent. It's nowhere near as powerful. Don't love it, okay? Apply safeguard, defense, up immunity to self and random Blastaar ally. Call them the assist, unavoidable. Same as the non-awakened part. Alright, yeah, I don't see... Like, this reduction of positive effects, this is powerful. This is not enough to sell an awakened ability, in my opinion. Alright, passives, the Architect of Thunder. On turn, he'll suffer 20% of his character's max health. Pretty standard for these legendary characters recently. If this character has charge, bury yourself, a Blastaar ally, and all Asgardian allies for 10% of this character's max health, and then lose 1 charge. Yeah, so how could you save this legendary character to not being called absolutely useless? Rework the hero Asgardians. Now we can slot this guy in here. He'll give them some buffs. He'll be a new character. They'd have new stats. He's another hero Asgardian. We would take it like Heimdall or something. That'd be kind of cool. All right, but I don't think that's going to happen. When an enemy attacks his character or an ally, so any ally, we're attacking for 300% damage. That's a good retaliate. On Crucible offense, we are stealing 10% of this character's max health from the target and redistributing 200% of the health stolen to self and random Blastaar ally. Okay, this is really nice because this is a retaliation. This is not a counterattack, so it's not like this can be stopped. It is an insanely large heal. So if we are doing 10% of Thunderstrike's max health on a retaliate, and we are then multiplying that by 20, And healing. Is that a full heal to Blastaar when this happens? Okay, maybe this is eternal. Maybe. Okay, hold on. Because there is something in Marvel Strike Force that I really wish they could obtain, and I think it's too big a task given where the current character stats and kits are. But I would love to see matches go beyond one turn. Normally in Marvel Strike Force, if you're a competitive player or if you're a savvy player, the match is determined after the first round of attacks. Maybe this sort of insane heal will make Blastaar and Thunderstrike a duo that will actually be able to see their third, fourth, fifth attacks. I think that's probably a stretch, but we're going to find out. The fact that it bypasses the heal block, that's important. That's really big. All right. On Crucible Offense, this character, until this character is completed turn, enemies cannot gain defense up. Oh, that's good. And allies cannot gain offense down. So the Awaken ability is going to have the speed bar stuff in it, because they talked about that in the strike spot. All right, here we go. On turn, heals. I do like this. Defense up, but can't get offense down. I like that, okay? We're healing self. We're doing the barrier. Get out. I'm almost done. Get out.
Dad?
Yes.
I'm gonna see him.
He did not want to accept my give me a second. I had to go help him with his hamster. Caramel. Beautiful hamster. I never had a hamster as a kid. Really cute. They poop way too much. I don't know where I'm going with this. Let's finish off this kit. All right, the Awakened passive or Healing Self. We're still doing the barrier. We're still doing the retaliation. We're still stealing energy and doing a huge heal. Now we're adding a bunch of more points. Okay, on Crucible Offense, we are still not allowing defense up. We are still not allowing them to put offense down ourselves. I don't know if you can hear them. They're crazy out there right now. Here's the new part for the Awakened ability. If Blastaar is an ally, it's only if he's an ally, and it's only on offense. Until this character takes a turn, enemies cannot fill speed bar for themselves, allies, or enemies. This does not apply to speed bar gained through normal means. If Blastaar is an ally, enemies cannot have their speed. Ooh, here it is. This is what I said in my last video. I was like, why is this not part of it? Okay, they did not talk about this in the strike spot. This is incredibly important. Also, it probably spells doom for Crucible in 6 months, right? If Blastaar is an ally, enemies cannot have their speed or resistances increased except by positive effects. That is speed set. That is your Fantastic Four. That's your Null, your Gore. That's your Star Jammers, right? So now, oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. So, and this stops the speed bar, which stops the Zazel. So what this duo actually does, if you own the Thunderstrike Awakened Ultimate, you can counter Star Jammers and Accursed. And if you don't, you're going to have to either bring in a Captain Britain. Nope, can't bring Captain Britain. That'll counter your Blastaar. You're going to have to bring in a Howard the Duck and break up your Star Jammers. You're going to have to bring in an Emma X to stop the speed set or Fantastic Four, but then you can't bring in a Howard the Duck, so you can't stop the speed set. You see, like, there is so much gated by the Awakened ability here. Nobody's going to like that. Let me know how you think about that. We kind of blitzed through this kit. I'm happy this is part of it, because that means we can have more interesting three pieces that join Thunderstrike and Blastaar. But the fact that it's behind the Awakened ability is going to make a lot of people mad, and that's probably an unforced error. Again, guys at Scopely, if this is something that you want to be a celebration and you're going to be giving away this Awakened ability for doing some sort of pocket dimension that's going to be accessible for engaged players, you should probably communicate that right now. Right now, you should communicate that. All right, guys, let me know what you think about Thunderstrike's kit. He really is just a Blastaar assist, but only if you have this. Only if you have the Awakened, like a bomb burst stack, but a slow speed, so you can't really get ahead of people. Like, if you have to let people take turns, man, I don't know. It's gonna come down to this Awakened ability and this retaliation. I want to see how, or this retaliation right here. I want to see how much this heal is going to be. Kind of crazy.